Phuntsholing is a border town in southern Bhutan and is the administrative seat of Chukha district. The town occupies parts of both Phuntsholing Gawog and Samphaling Gawog. Phuntsholing adjoins the Indian town of Jaigaon, and cross-border trade has resulted in a thriving local economy. The town previously hosted the headquarters of the Bank of Bhutan before they were shifted to Thimphu. In 2017, Phuntsholing had a population of 27,658. The border is separated by a long wall with a single Bhutanese gate. Locals can sometimes even cross without being asked for papers. Tourists from India, Bangladesh and Maldives do not need visa to enter Bhutan but have to show proof of identity such as a passport or voter ID card and apply for a permit at Phuntsholing to enter Bhutan. Other foreigners need a visa presented by a hired registered tour guide. The entry gate into the town is manned by the Sashastra Seema Bal and Bhutanese army guards. The terrain inclines soon after the gate. The town does not have airport facilities or a railway, but Indian Railways has railway stations nearby. A 20 km railway track has been planned from the nearest railway stone Hashimara in North Bengal to Phuntsholing. Buses are available from the towns in North Bengal. Buses are operated by both Indian-based companies and Bhutanese government. Once at Phuntsholing, the lateral road gives travelers access to the rest of Bhutan. From almost anywhere in the city, one can see the road to Thimphu snaking up the hillside, and in the evening it is easy to see the headlights of distant vehicles heading towards the capital. The gateway of the land of thunder dragons, Phuntsholing is often regarded as the abode of kings and queens of the Himalayan kingdom. At an altitude of only 300 meters, this commercial center in Bhutan lies adjacent to Indian town Jaigaon on the Himalayan foothills. There are a number of places to visit in Phuntsholing where you can catch a glimpse of the diversity of Bhutanese, Nepalese and Indian cultures. A perfect mix of art, culture, natural scenic beauty and modern life makes for this perfect tourist destination in Bhutan. There is a lot more in Phuntsholing than what meets an eye. The city is the mix of ethnic groups like Nepalese, Bhutanese, Indians, who live in a perfect harmony with each other. The rich cultural heritage of the city makes it for one of the best places in Bhutan. Thimphu is the Kingdom of Bhutan's only city and its capital. This is the capital of Bhutan with a population of approximately 100,000 people. Although distance from Phuntsholing to Thimphu is approximately 170 kilometers, but it takes anywhere around 6 to 7 hours to complete the journey. It's not because of poor road conditions but because of mellowness of drivers and numerous stopover to enjoy the infinite beauty. Just after crossing 5 km from Phuntsholing town, the road climbs up through steep gradient to Richending, where at check-post permit to enter Bhutan are checked and stamped by the police. Thimphu is the Kingdom of Bhutan's only city and its capital. Accordingly, it is the political center of the country, a country whose livestock and agricultural economy represents about 45% of its GNP. Tourism also contributes significantly to the economy, but, amazingly, this relatively tiny nation is more concerned with defending and preserving its wonderful culture and social tapestry than it is with raking in the money from tourists. Ironically, it is this stick-to-itiveness to cultural and historical preservation that makes this country such an attractive stopover for visitors from all over the world. As one would expect, Thimphu hosts Bhutan's most politically important buildings, including the Dechenkoling Palace, the King's official residence, and the recently created Parliamentary Democracy's National Assembly building. The city is governed according to something called Thimphu's Structure Plan, a plan developed primarily to protect the valley's fragile and pristine ecology. This is a long-term development plan partly funded by the Asian Development Bank and the World Bank. By all means, Bhutan's rich, resplendent and easy-to-admire customs, literature, love for the arts, devotion to spiritual growth, commitment to the preservation of its many cultural and historical monuments, landmarks, etc., are what set these people apart. The 4-day festival of Tishu, featuring elaborate masked dances at the Tashicho Dizong, for example, is a testament on many levels of the love and respect the Bhutanese people have for their culture and way of life. The Tashicho Dizong, the Thimphu Dizong, is a famous Buddhist fortress and monastery on the northern part of the city. This is the official office of the civil government's head or the Dharma Raja, who shares some powers with the kingship. It is also the country's official summer capital. As one would expect, this is a magnificent place to behold and visit. The building offers elaborate towers and roof architecture that makes this seem more like a theatre prop than a real place, but, alas, it is. The Cheri Goemba, this is Bhutan's first monastery and it's not too far from Thimphu. In fact, it's the oldest monastery in Bhutan, as far as we know. It's possible to reach the base of this magnificent structure by using a local cab. Thereafter, though, you have a bit of climb that isn't for anyone not physically fit or afraid of heights. The Bhutanese absolutely revere this place, with good reason. The National Institute for Zurich Chusum, this institution, better known as the School of Painting, runs several educational programs in the 13 traditional arts Bhutan is famous for. The well-motivated students that come here can delve into elaborate forms of painting, embroidery, wood carving, and statue sculpting, usually with the use of clay. The pieces made here are impressive, even the ones created by mere students. You will be impressed with the quality of what is displayed and put up for sale here. Buddha Dordenma, the Buddha Dordanman, is a huge statue of Buddha high up in the mountains of Bhutan. Interestingly, the statue itself is the home for over 100,000 smaller statues of Buddha, made from bronze and gold. You will be in awe at the size of the statue, as well as the artistry that it took to create it. The National Memorial Chotan, this Tibetan motif religious structure, is the focus of worship for many Bhutanese. Built in 1974, it is a memorial to the third king of the country. People visit here either for religious reason or to pay tribute. It is also a great site to visit for tourists. This site features magnificent Asian architecture, elaborately painted annexes, marvelous mandalas, and a shrine to the king. Motithang Taking Preserve, located in the Motithang district of Thimphu, Bhutan, is a wildlife reserve area for Bhutan taking, the national animal of Bhutan. Originally a mini-zoo, it was converted into a preserve when it was discovered that the animals refrained from inhabiting the surrounding forest even when set free. The reason for declaring taking as a national animal of Bhutan on 25 November 2005 is attributed to a legend of the animal's creation in Bhutan in the 15th century by Lama Drukpa Kunle. The local mythology related to declaring taking as the national animal of Bhutan is dated to the 15th century. A Tibetan saint by the name Drukpa Kunle, popularly called by the epithet, the Divine Madman, is credited with creating the tamin with unique features. Drukpa Kunle, who was not only a religious preacher but also a proficient tantric, was requested by the people of Bhutan during one of his religious lectures to conjure a miracle before them. The saint agreed to do so provided he was fed for lunch, a whole cow and a whole goat. Once served, he devoured the food of both animals and left out the bones. He then took out the head of the goat and fixed it to the skeleton of the cow and uttered abracadabra, and the magic worked. With a snap, he created a live animal, which had the head of the goat and the body of the cow. 1. The animal sprang up and moved on to the meadows to graze. The animal was then given the name Dong Gemzi, taking. Since then this animal has been a common sight in the hills of Bhutan. Because of this magical creation with high religious connotation, the animal has been adopted as the national animal of Bhutan. When a small number of taking were confined in a mini-zoo in Thimphu, the king of Bhutan felt that it was improper for a Buddhist country to confine animals for religious and environmental reasons. He therefore ordered the release of the animals and the closure of the mini-zoo. To everyone's surprise, the taking, known for their docile behavior, refused to leave the immediate area and strayed in the streets of Thimphu in search of food for weeks. Taking attract attention due to their unusual appearance, taxonomists were originally uncertain of this animal's phylogeny and many people describe it as a bee-stung moose. Bhutan taking is listed as a vulnerable species of goat antelope, native to Bhutan, India and the People's Republic of China. Taking have little economic value. They provide a traditional medicinal use by women to help them during childbirth and are of keen interest to a relatively small but uncertain number of trekkers annually in Bhutan. The Clock Tower Square is a recently renovated square surrounded by shops and restaurants. Fountains and traditional Bhutanese money or prayer wheels make the place more comfortable. On one side, the luxurious Drik Hotel is situated. Various programs and activities are held here. It was also the checkpoint for the Sark car rally. Over the last 50 years, since its establishment as the capital of Bhutan, Thimphu has witnessed expansion, initially at a slow pace, then rapidly after the country was opened up to the outside world after the coronation of the fourth king, Jigme Singhe Wangchuck. Within the core area of the city, there is a mix of apartment blocks, small family homes and family-owned stores. By regulation, all buildings are required to be designed in traditional style with Buddhist paintings and motifs. A lively weekend market near the river supplies meat, vegetables and tourist items. Most of the city's limited light industry is located south of the main bridge. Thimphu has a growing number of commercial services and offices, which provide for ever-growing local needs. Thimphu does not have a vibrant nightlife, but the number of nightclubs and pool rooms for young people is growing quickly. The main street, Norjim Lam, contains a number of shops and small hotels and restaurants. The Bhutan Textile Museum, the National Library, the Changlam Plaza and the sports field are buildings of note around this street area. Near the main square is a clock, decorated with dragons, which is now an open-air theatre site and art and craft stores and the Tashi supermarket. In the building in front of the old cinema there is a Chinese restaurant and trekking stores.